Hi there guys, Sam here. Welcome to another video, my weekly news update, and talking about a few topics as well on that. So let's get straight into it. So if you're not familiar with these videos, I started it kind of last week, just every Monday kind of evening, just to kind of a bit more of a casual video, car related news, stuff that I share on the channel, really interesting, cool stuff, as you can see from that Porsche Cayman GTS 4 litre on my right hand side on the laptop. And yeah, a few topics combined in that sense. So let's get straight into the video. So yes, let's start with the Cayman GTS 4 litre. So something that I've documented quite a lot on this channel because I love it, and frankly, perfect kind of sports car to have. Naturally aspirated 4 litre engine, taken straight from the Cayman GT4, slightly detuned by 20 brake horsepower, nothing too much, a little bit lighter, £10,000 cheaper, and yeah, a highly desirable brand in Porsche. And recently I've seen this week a lot more reviews from the car. I think a few more test drives have kind of come out, and basically the answer is it's a great car. Something I read today actually on Top Gear was, yeah, it's a really, there are literally hardly any faults. The only thing that kind of is the same as what was the problem with the 981 is the long gearing. But the advantage of that is that you can actually get really good MPG on a long run, which is great because you can cruise up to wherever you want to go to have a fun drive or whatever you want to do. Achieve decent enough economy from a 64 litre tank, and then have a blast on the side. So yeah, really excited on that. And I wanted to kind of mention it first because yeah, it's definitely a car that's on my kind of dream wish list. I'll let's see what can happen in over the coming sort of months or maybe even years. But stay tuned to the channel. I want to see more of that. I certainly want to drive it, and I do a lot of like Porsche experience, almost like track day type things, and normally in like a 981 Cayman GT4. But I have inquired about the 718 GT4, which I do want to try, and I'd love to try this one as well. Just to rag it around the track, enjoy it, get an idea of what it's like. But I think on the road is probably actually where it's best, which is great, which is what you want. That's where you use your cars. There's plenty of nice roads to kind of drive around, particularly around Europe and even around the UK. So yeah, let's keep an eye on this car. I haven't really seen any around. If you check on like Auto Trader or something like that, none are for sale. It's obviously hit at the worst time with the coronavirus. Had a few people, when I've done videos on the past, say, oh, I'm collecting it soon. I don't know if those have got pushed back at all. But a fantastic car, and something that I really wanted to start this kind of weekly news update on. Fantastic car. Looking forward to seeing more about it. And obviously let me know what you think of it in the comments below. So the next part is, well, perhaps not massively an interesting conversation for pure petrol heads, but something that is important and something that's just going to have to come in the future. I've seen more and more of this like Honda E. Honda produced this like small little car which is obviously packed full of technology, pure electric, all of that stuff. And some of the stuff that got me was actually like the mirrors. So as you can kind of see on the screen, you get cameras in the mirrors, which is cool. I think Audi did it with their e-tron, but this is apparently a lot more sophisticated. It seems really, really good. It has sort of like tiny little stalks that almost stick out, so you have a camera through it, so it works as a normal side mirror, which is really, really cool. And actually it's sort of coated in some sort of special whatever coating which stops water from actually sort of sitting on it, and it drips off, so you actually get perfect visibility. And seeing some people road testing it really works very, very well. And that's where sort of new technology can really come out and really shine above sort of, I find it hard on the road, to be honest with you, when it's chucking it down with rain. Doesn't matter if you've got a Golf or a Ford or whatever. Side mirrors clog up with water. You can't really demist them because it doesn't do anything, and you really does hamper your visibility, particularly when it's really bad weather anyway. And that's a really cool sort of plus side to EVs. They're trying to step up the game. Now the next little part, as you can see to the right of me, is the rear view mirror. They tried to do the same, but obviously you get different sort of levels of spray at the back. Maybe the coating wasn't working, but from what I've seen from this, a camera basically replacing your rear view mirror, it didn't work quite as well from the test that I saw. And for me, it just potentially shows that overcomplication. You're kind of almost stretching the boundaries of what you can do and what's actually possible. maybe don't necessarily try to overcomplicate something that doesn't need to be changed. Okay, I appreciate some people might have, this might actually rule out the need to having sort of like a rear window, or, you could have more stuff in the back and you can see better. But in reality, that's probably been the least area that would really need to improve. A mirror is a mirror at the end of the day. So it has its plus points. That I'm not 100% sure on, but I suppose if they got it working the same way as the side mirrors, it does have some potential. And this is why I wanted to mention EVs briefly on this week's kind of episode. It's so hard basically today for someone to kind of pick up that car and kind of run with it and to kind of use it every day and sort of enjoy it. If you're not sort of like a car journalist just trying to use it for the sake of it, to actually use it in the real world is really, really hard. Range is quite poor on the Honda E, but I won't really get into that stuff. It was just the technology around it. I think it's pushing the boundaries. Some of it's cool, some of it's hard. It's going to be difficult for people to adjust over the coming years. We're 3rd of August 2020. What are things going to be like in the years to come? We just don't know. But today, right now, those cars are really difficult to work with, just with the infrastructure we've got, and the technology is probably too far for most people. But something I wanted to share anyway, and yeah, let me know your thoughts on that one. Also, back on to the next sort of topic, final little topic I want to talk about was the Mk8 Golf R, something I brought up last week as well, and obviously document plenty on my channel. Really want to know more about it. But something that I was thinking about more recently, particularly, is it's kind of seems like it's getting delayed in terms of when it's going to come out. Earlier you get something to market, the better, really. But you've got to time it right. Obviously, it's awful timing this year to do anything. But yeah, something I was thinking about is a Mk8 Golf R rival. Now, if you look at the price point of this car, by the time you spec it, you're going to be paying £40,000. Now, on the used market today, what can that actually compete with? Well, you look at some of the tremendously expensive hot hatches, which I mentioned in yesterday's video as well on my drive. You look at like the new RS3 that's going to come out, 55,000, an extra 15-20 grand in some cases. And you look at the A45S, which has come out. Now that car was priced very, very high, 55 to 60,000 pounds in the UK, and that is technically a rival to the Golf R, give or take. Okay, it's 120 odd brake horsepower down, completely different price points, I get that, but it's still a rival. It's a hot hatch, 4-wheel drive, designed to go fast, also designed to work as a daily. That's how I see it. Now you can get that car, A45S, used with a few hundred miles for around £44,000, and that's a few hundred miles, practically brand new. And that's a car that'll do you 0-60 in about sub 4 seconds, 3.9 they say, but probably faster in reality. Packed full of tech. Mercedes really nailed that kind of dash, and the way they've gone about their business in that front. Looks great, goes great, 4-wheel drive, you can use it every day, probably economical as well, to be honest with you. Mercedes seem to do that. They did it well with the last A45 as well. Something that I test drove, both facelift and pre-facelift. And this is technically, for people who want to put their real money into these cars, okay, it might be slightly different from a finance side of things, because financing a used car, although it's nearly used, might be slightly different to a brand new one. But yeah, I just found that intriguing, because what it says to me is by the time the Mk8 Golf R does come out, let's say it is early next year, 2021, around the UK and Europe and other regions as well, America, Australia, whatever, it's suddenly going to become quite intriguing. You could potentially get a 5,000-6,000 mild year-old A45S for basically the exact same price as a brand new Mk8 Golf R. And I kind of know where my money would go, because that A45S probably isn't going to lose as much money at that point, is in that stage of its product life cycle, to a Mk8 Golf R. So you're not only getting a better car, you're probably actually doing a wiser investment. So stuff like that always intrigues me. And it was one of the reasons why I bought my Mark 7 Golf R that I have. I got it at the right time for me, right as a new model was coming out. It depreciated a fair chunk of its money, sub 25 grand for a 1,300 mile car, 3 months old. Felt pretty good for me. and as a result of that, I'm 3 and a bit years into ownership, and it's done pretty well for me. Think of it, I'd like a car for a couple of years. I think if you can get this type of car hatchback, you might want it for a little bit longer than, say, your sports car or your supercar, potentially. That's just where I'm thinking. So I actually think this could be a rival, just because of the way the economy is at the moment and the way people are struggling to buy cars. So those cars sitting on forecourts, they need to be shifted. And yeah, let me know where your money would go. Would it go on a brand new Golf R? Would it go on a used A45S, year old? I think it's a good debate. I think it's, I actually half think it's a no-brainer to go for this kind of car. But we're just going to have to see what happens. And this is where a Mk8 Golf R can come into its own as it gets out there into the market, a year-old one or whatever. That's when I think a lot of my subscribers and a lot of people talk about, that's probably when they would go for it. Granted, getting it new is always going to be a very cool and exciting period, but for those who don't have unlimited funds, don't fancy losing thousands and £10,000 over the course of a year or whatever it's going to be, depending how badly you spec the car or how unlucky you are, those are the things to think about. So yeah, I wanted to throw it out there. Let me know what you think about that, or if I'm way off the course of what people are thinking. The final things you can kind of see there is, I did say any sort of comments that were in the next, were in last week's video, I'll kind of answer here. So I had a question here. It said, when's Mk8 Golf R releasing? So when is the Mk8 Golf R coming out? I would say in different regions it's going to be different, obviously. I'd expect it to be around, basically in every region, Australasia, Americas, Europe, next year. That's what I'm going to say. In the UK, I think it's going to be early next year. I think it would be a surprise if we saw a Mk8 Golf R, out this year. Which kind of makes sense. Maybe people don't want things associated with 2020, and I kind of agree with them on that. But we have no official release date. That's what my kind of estimate is. As soon as they can show like a trailer of it, they can do a little bit more on it, because I think it's a big product for them. They've really got to get it out there. I will let you know, and hopefully that will be soon. It would have been at the Goodwood Festival Speed, which was last month. That's why I'm kind of like in the stage where, well, they should be surely thinking about showing it. They would have had stuff in stages as well. Germany's been less affected by the coronavirus, yada yada yada. So let's see, we're in August now. I hope to have some decent news on that and share it straight away as soon as I know on the channel. But yeah, I'll end it there. And thanks so much for watching. Just a casual video on a Monday evening. Yeah, I thought I'd choose Mondays just because it's never normally the best. You can just remember the amazing weekend you've had, and yeah, you obviously, if you're like me, work hard. This is just a hobby for me, which I enjoy doing. Full-time job, and yeah, hopefully you can chill out and listen to this video. That's kind of the idea. So yeah, again, any comments you got, let me know on the weekly news, and any questions and stuff, I will answer it in next week's video. That's kind of the idea. But and stay tuned for plenty more content on the channel. I'd really appreciate all the support. Nearly 300,000 views and around 300 subscribers in the last sort of 2-3 months is really, really good for my channel, and it just seems to be sort of kicking on really. So I really do appreciate all of that, and yeah, let's see where it goes. And I hope you all have been enjoying it, and yeah, great stuff. But yeah, have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of your evening, rest of your week, and I will see you again in the next one. But yeah, thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.